Hello and welcome to Tech Talks with PerData. My name is Zaman Ali and I'm one of the senior data and AI technology experts at Crayon ANZ. Today I have Michael Woodruff and Sean Theron from PerData who will go through some of the learnings when migrating over to a Microsoft Fabric environment. PerData Australia specializes in performing complex data challenges into actionable solutions. From advanced data analytics to seamless cloud integrations, PerData empowers businesses to make smarter, data-driven decisions. I will now hand over to Michael, who will talk about the Microsoft Fabric project. Over to you, Michael.
Thanks, Zaman. The Tech Talk series is a partnership between PerData and Crayon, aiming to provide industry knowledge to Microsoft data and AI partners. To give everyone some background, PerData are your technology partner. We specialise in enterprise architecture, application development, business intelligence, data and AI, system integration, and modern data platforms such as Microsoft Fabric. I'm here today with Jean Theron, Director of Systems Architecture at PerData. Welcome, Jean.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
So, Jean, if you could give us some background on the project.
Client was an existing data lake process that is tied into the D365 ecosystem, where data was exported using a background process set up by Microsoft, which would then land data in a Gen 2 data lake. That process has been deprecated by Microsoft and as such needed to be replaced for our clients as well and move over to the new Fabric process that's now in place, and Microsoft's only really process that can be followed in order to land your data into the data lake.
What was the challenge our client was facing?
The first challenge was some of the data entities were custom entities that was created specifically for the customer's vertical. So they had done some custom development. And in order to get those tables across, some changes needed to be made within the development environment, specifically turning on the change tracking on those entities. And unfortunately, there was some post-load logic that was in the entities as well. And that post-load logic needed to be removed as part of that as well. And that then flowed onto a full regression test because the custom entities were used throughout the D365 implementation. Once those changes were made, we then needed to move those changes through to production, and once it was in production, get the configurations updated and pushed through the make.power BI portal into a D365 Fabric environment, the D365 Fabric environment. So in order to do that, we found that we needed to have a user, first of all, configured, and some forethought needs to be put in, well, some thought needs to be put into place to before you start the process to think about what user accounts you're going to use to tie all of these things together. Because unfortunately, within Fabric and also within make.power BI, when you set accounts up, they become owners of the process and it's a bit tricky to change them. So you need a user that's going to have an admin access for in D365, but also have admin access in the Power Platform, admin console, and also an admin access into the Power BI platform. So all of that user needs to have all of those specific security roles assigned to them in order to complete the process end to end and get everything syncing and working correctly. Once that was in place, there was a number of things. It takes a little bit of a time to select the tables that you want to sync within the D365 process, and unfortunately that process needs to be completed in each environment. At this stage, it's a manual process where you would need to go and do it in test and then do it in production and also in your development environment independently if you have those three environments as well. And then once the tables are turned on for syncing, it can take up to 2 days in order for that data to sync. Another one of the challenges that we had is the old data lake process was case insensitive. So, and the new data lake Fabric process is case sensitive by default. So just something to think of as well. If you've got any queries running, you need to make sure that your queries cater for the case-sensitive nature of the new Fabric environment.
Thanks for that, Jan. And what was the approach that we took in this case?
We followed a proof of concept approach. Because this was a new technology platform for us, we were doing this for the first time for this client. And as such, we set the development environment up, found any issues that we had, and then replayed that into test and then into production.
So was there anything significant that you learned along the way that might help other Microsoft partners?
Yeah, the planning around security and making sure that you've got the correct users security set up for the users setting it up is essential. Create service accounts up front and use those service accounts when stitching everything together within the environment. That's just going to save you a lot of headache going forward as well. So that's one of the significant things. The other one is just allow some time for the data to sync. For large tables, it could take up to 2 days for processes to run and the data to be there in full. So just allow for that timing.
And most importantly, what was the value outcome for the client?
Well, the biggest value outcome was that they could reuse their existing IP. So their Power BI reports were deployed or were kept exactly the same. There's no significant changes to them that they needed to make. So we unplugged the existing data lake process and just plugged in the new Fabric process. One of the things that we found was that we had some changes to be made, but not significant changes. So the IP investment that the client made was able to be carried forward into hopefully the distant future.
Thanks, Jan, for giving us your time and for giving us those insights into the Microsoft Fabric project.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks, Michael. Hopefully it was insightful for everybody watching.
So if anyone would like to hear more, please reach out via our website, perdata.com.au. And don't forget, you can also access our free Power BI online training courses. These courses will take you through how to use Power BI from an entry-level introduction all the way through to more advanced skills. Thanks for listening today.